Should I turn on my light? I probably should. Hold on 1 second. All right. So hello everyone. I know it's been quite some time. Well, it really ain't been that long. It's only been a few days. You see my last video I posted. Dang, what was that? Don't Give Me the Lion. I think it was on, oh yes, Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, and Charlie. So that was the last video I posted. There is another video going up. It'll be about Ice Spice, Cardi B, and Nicki Minaj. So pay attention. That should be coming out later on this week. But with that out of the way, come on in, welcome in, welcome in. You see today's title, you see the thumbnail, you know today I am interested in doing a reading on Project 2025. This has been a requested one, but this is also one that has been of interest to me because I recently seen something today where it's supposedly a secret portion of the policy booklet that has come out. There has been talks about there's some secret training videos that has come out. There has been talks about how it's destroying Department of Education, how they're trying to repeal voters' rights, how they're trying to undo some of our larger, I guess you can say, security systems, kind of like the FBI and stuff like that. They have... It's just been, definitely, of course, repealing even more when it comes to women's health or women's rights and things like that. So it has been a lot of concern for people. It's definitely been giving people some anxiety. So tonight I figured I would do this reading and kind of see what I get. I'm mainly going to be focusing on two portions of this, just kind of getting a general overall reading on Project 2025, and then kind of just going into the Heritage Foundation and kind of what their agenda is. I don't think it's really a hidden one, but I think there's more so sequence steps that they have set up for this personally. But before I get started, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, okay? I'm not charging people for this, but a little engagement for the algorithm helps out a lot. If going through this reading, a lot of things kind of really resonate with you, yeah, definitely share it out to people so they can get the message as well. But if this is something that is going to trigger you, because I can definitely see this being kind of like a heavier topic or touching on things that may trigger people and things like that, I'm just warning you ahead of time. You may want to kind of like cut out and come back at another time, or not at all, you know, just to protect your mental health. On top of that, please take note of the statement across the bottom of the screen here, stating that all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to check my audio really quick. Okay, I had to make sure because I know last time I sounded really crazy, muffled. So it sounds good. So as I was saying, yes, all statements made are alleged for entertainment purposes only. This is kind of delving into some conspiracies as well, because if you haven't noticed, it's been pretty rampant on TikTok as well. People coming up with their own conspiracies and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we probably go into one of those rabbit holes. But again, this is just an intuitive tarot reading. So what comes up, comes out, comes through. That's just what it is. You know, I'm not here or there. I really haven't listened to any of the conspiracies on TikTok. I just know they have been coming up and I just kind of quickly swipe by it because I don't want it to be something that infiltrates the reading. It'd be something that kind of comes up subconsciously in my brain and then I automatically latch onto it in this reading. The other thing I wanted to state is that although this is an intuitive tarot reading and we are doing something on politics, tarot should not be used for any serious matters, I would like to say. If whether it's in regards to your health, financial, legal counsels, things like that. Make sure you reach out to those professionals and people who have experience in those realms to better help you and assist you through. Do not use tarot for things like that. Do not even depend on tarot, again, because we're doing politics. It falls under legal. Do not take this and run with it. It's with a grain of salt. If this is something, if something I say or something that comes up doesn't resonate with you, leave it, okay? Because as always, I encourage you to exercise your power of discernment, not just with my readings, with any readings that you get in your everyday life, whether you're just kind of going out there and it's in a professional manner. Always exercise your power of discernment, okay? So with all of that being said, I do want to put in my bias that I have with this. Only reason why I'm not doing a reading on or asking the question on whether or not Trump is aware or attached to Project 2025 is because I find it highly doubtful that he isn't attached to it in some way, seeing how the playbook is essentially written in case he wins, in the case that he wins, to train people and officials and put them close and near him so they can push things through. So whether he knows about it or not, I don't think it really matters. He's just the, how can I say it? He's pretty much the linebacker that's going to help run everything through, or the quarterback. You know, I don't know football, so let me know if I even use that terminology right. He's basically the person that's going to help ramrod it through, and it's just gonna open the floodgates, and it's gonna be whatever. That's my personal opinion, that's my bias, so I just want to interject that here. So that's the only reason why I'm not going to ask that question if someone does have that question. Okay, I have already cleansed my cards and my space, so I'm going to jump right into this reading. So first things first, we're going to do an overall energy or energetic reading of Project 2025 and see what we get. Yep, I'm already getting the battle. So what's this one here? Okay. And let's see. You see, a lot of this comes up in reverse. So we do have the Seven of Wands, we have the Knight of Swords, and then we also have, this is the Five of Swords as well, coming up in reverse. Okay. I like to pull from the bottom of the deck as well. And as you can see, for the underlying energies, we do have the Three of Wands. And this usually deals with kind of, you notice this comes up in the upright. So to me, this kind of feels like Project 2025. The creators of it, they definitely have kind of like an outline is the basis to set them up, to set forward for the journey, the possibility, the aim, the goal that they have in mind. And it's definitely been thought through thoroughly. Again, as I stated at the beginning of this video, there has been some new discoveries come to light in regards to training videos that has come up. So I believe the training videos is in case of those officials or people that they want elected into these kind of like executive positions around the president and in certain departments within the government. So like, you know, the Department of Education, Security, Cybersecurity, I think was another one. I think they also was doing something with banks as well. So they're definitely, you know, have a playbook, as you can see. I'm not surprised that we also have the Empress as the underlying card here because of the control that they are trying to exact on the women. And then the Ace of Wands cards, it typically comes up as like as you can see, it's kind of like a phallic image. So I'm not surprised that this is also in regards to kind of just people's nighttime activities, consenting nighttime activities. And then we also have the King of Swords here in reverse. So to me, that's, I'm pulling that from the top. Oh, in the Hierophant. Wait a minute. In the Lovers? Okay. This is getting juicy. So yeah, with all of this just feels like this is in regards to like, this here feels like it's Trump and JD Vance to me. Like this could be them, but then it's also kind of like how can I say it? It's a higher master or a call that we're answering to here with these three cards that I pulled off the top. But going back to the ones that I actually pulled, it doesn't surprise me we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is like you're fighting to defend your position. You're fighting to defend your beliefs. You're fighting to defend democracy is what is coming to mind, but I think it's their version, the Heritage Foundation's version of democracy or what America should be. I thought I silenced my phone. That's weird. Okay, but it feels like this, they're fighting for what their version of what America or democracy should be. Again, with the Knight of Swords, I wouldn't be surprised this is in regards to JD Vance or Trump, maybe some other official that's kind of like spearheading this, because usually the Knight of Swords is in regards to a person. It can sometimes, the Knight of Swords or the court cards can refer to a situation. So it could be kind of like this is in regards to the climate of American politics. It's been ripe for the picking to kind of push things through. So that could also be what the Knight of Swords is. But keep in mind that the Knight of Swords, of course, deals with air. So this is kind of like your Aquarius, your Gemini, and your Libra energy. It also can be somebody who is, they're not quite as calculating as if I was to get like the King of Swords, for example, which I did get at the bottom of the deck, but it does deal with someone who is young and influential, but they may not have the polish to necessarily push through what they want. They kind of going in, rushing head first in order to get what they want, to push things through. And then we also notice we have another card here in regards to kind of like fighting and victory. This is the Five of Swords. This is also dealing with kind of like an uphill battle, a battle of wits, a battle of I want to say like a battle of wits, of morals, of beliefs, things like that, because again, the air signs typically deal with the mental, whereas in regards to the wands, is typically kind of like the passion, the fire that ignites what you want. So this makes sense to me that we have the Five of Swords also here in reverse. But let's see what else I get here. Actually, let me pull from this deck first. Okay, so the Protector, yep. And notice that's also coming up in reverse, and is dealing with someone who is protecting their beliefs, their stance. We have planning. So maybe they haven't, again, these three cards here really like highlights to me that the goal or the want that they have in mind, and I'm saying they in regards to kind of like the Heritage Foundation, to me, what I'm getting from these cards, allegedly, it points to kind of like they have a clear goal or you know, something that they want in sight, or a belief that they want, but they probably haven't quite nailed the execution or the action to get it done, because, you know, I guess maybe they forget that people have a free will, or that, you know, everyone don't believe in what they believe in, or whatever the case may be. They probably didn't think every little bit out, thank God. But yeah, that's kind of like what it's giving, because they have the planning. Like we thought about this. We kind of know what we want, but we may have we may flub on kind of like the execution of it. And that was way too many. Let's see. Let's try this again. Opportunity. See, yeah, it feels like they weren't considering something. Like they didn't think they would probably have this much pushback from the general public, or maybe they was hoping it wasn't revealed this early or something. Because we have the opportunity card here as well, but this is coming up in reverse. I don't know if you can kind of tell because, you know, the bird looks upside down. I want to say, is that the eagle too? You know, that's the national bird for the U.S. That's pretty interesting. What is JD Vance's sign? I probably should have looked that one up first. I know Trump is a Gemini though, so yeah. Maybe that's what it is. They're probably betting all their horses too early because they're betting it on Trump, and because maybe, I don't know, people are tired of his rhetoric, or in my opinion, I don't think he may be smart enough to help them actually push this through. Like, Trump is kind of like the wrong vessel or tool to push this through on, because he's going, maybe he'll end up accidentally like getting in the way or something. And so maybe they need to kind of go back to the drawing board and pick somebody who will be better suited to do this. Not me giving them the playbook. I really shouldn't, but. Okay, let's see. I have 2 cards here. And they're both coming up in reverse. So we have catastrophe and haste. There is catastrophe when you rush things. You know what they say, all good things come to those who wait. Wait a minute. Indiscretion and lie telling. There is a lot of lying. There is some indiscretion, if you ask me. Oh, and look at that. We also have malevolent behavior as well. Is this coming up in reverse? I want to say this is coming up in reverse because I want to say, yeah, because that's the angel. So, yeah. So this is not paved with the best of intentions. I don't think many of us are surprised by that. Yeah, look, the underlying card is basically stating that you're lacking intellectual talent. You don't have the right tool. What else comes up under here? War and violence. And I hope that ain't point to what I think it is. Living by your wits and illicit earnings. And then we also have disregarding of rules. You think? So, yeah. Let's see what we're going to get here for the Heritage Foundation. I probably should do, let's see, let's get a look. See, look. Comrades in arms. Yes, we are in alignment. I see you, you see me. We agree. We do have some kind of emotional pull or attachment, investment into this project. We do want a certain future for America, or, you know, for ourselves that we can create here in America. This was kind of sticking out to the side. Queen of Swords. I want to state this just kind of for myself if I ever come back to this video, but I also noticed, I don't know if how many videos of mine you have watched. But the Queen of Swords comes up more often than not as the more conniving, I guess you can say more educated card, more manipulating card when I'm pulling on industries. I've gotten it a couple times when it comes in regards to like the music industry, certain execs, when it comes to kind of like the queen bees of the world. I oftentimes get the Queen of Swords, so that's interesting. I just wanted to kind of like point that out. But let's see if that's supposed to stick. We have the Emperor. That's the Emperor. Why would that come up in reverse though? And then I had a couple of cards that flipped over here that I'm just going to kind of read out loud to note. We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. We have the Four of Cups in the upright. And then we have the World in reverse. Wishes not being fulfilled. The apathy card, something you don't want to do in the world. This is usually like a cycle that has been broken or not completed. The world can sometimes also mean in view of the public, or something maybe the public has not yet seen. Okay, what's this card? We have the Chariot. It's rushed. What are they rushing? Why are they rushing to change this? Who is this like leader that's rushing a lot of this through? I wonder, did somebody at the Heritage Foundation kind of like jump the gun or something? Because look what we got at the bottom of the deck. We have the Queen of Cups. The Hierophant comes up again. This, to me, especially when you have the Emperor comes before the Hierophant. But the Hierophant, think like old world, you know, you used to have the Pope, and then you have the King and the Prince, and then the courts, you know, the upper class families and things like that. So the Hierophant also can sometimes deal with, I guess you can say, the cult society. I'm not going to say culture, society at large. It can sometimes deal with society at large. So we have the Hierophant here as well. So I don't know if it's kind of like, I can interpret this one of two ways. There is a shaping or a shifting that they need to do of society at large before they implemented this plan. I would basically say brainwashing, or like, what's the other word? Brainwashing, or like basically like some psyops kind of stuff, but like propaganda maybe that has to be pushed forward to kind of change public sentiments. Or this could be dealing with that there is someone higher up, which it typically is with things like this. There's somebody higher up that is kind of like pulling the strings, but using the Heritage Foundation to kind of push things forward for their own personal agenda. So yeah, it's interesting. We also have this Queen of Cups as well. So I wonder, it don't always have to be a woman, but it could be a woman that's behind some of this policy changes and things like that. Or again, maybe this is in regards to a lot of the pushback against women or whatever. I'm not sure why this Queen of Cups is coming up underneath. And then we also have the Hangman looking at things in a different perspective. So that is interesting. Let's see here. Let's see what else we're going to get. I don't know why my app closed out, but then it was still showing. So I guess that's good. Anyway, just wanted to make sure because I was like, it's not showing up clear. So I wanted to make sure. So I'm gonna pull both of these out because they flipped over. Anything else? Nothing, nothing. Okay, so change in love. Change in love. Do they have their own warped sense of like well, I can't even say warped because I think a lot of us believe this, but I don't think we're trying to push our ways on everybody else. I should probably speak for myself because there's some people out there like that. But it kind of feels like there's a certain thing about society, or that they wish society was, again, that they are trying to change or course correct with this change and love here. Notice we also did get the Three of Cups underneath as well. So this, again, the Three of Cups is usually like, it can be friendship, camaraderie. It can also be threes, a crowd, which I doubt. Unless you was to count it in the sense of kind of like, they're like, we're trying to bring too many people to the table and we need to remove some people, which is obviously kind of like what they're doing here. Management. Oh, sorry. Social engagement. Social engagement. Is this really supposed to be here? That don't make sense for the Emperor. So ideas. Money. Why would money? I feel like they have enough money. I feel like they, I don't know. Am I tripping? I feel like correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I can always search this up afterwards. But allegedly, I thought the Heritage Foundation was founded by, or at least founded or in part funded by the Koch brothers, and they're like some of the richest people on the planet. They're like the secret billionaires that don't like to put their face out there, unlike Elon Musk. It kind of, I don't know how money would be a problem. Or is it like they're just gonna ramrod it through using money, which is a play old as time. Malevolent behavior. Everything just keeps coming up in reverse for them. They do not have the best intentions. I don't care what anybody say. Oh, I had two cards flipped over for them. Self-atonement and rejuvenation. Self-atonement and rejuvenation. Is there anything, because I didn't read it, I'm gonna be honest. Is there anything in regards to Project 2025 and religious beliefs or like religious control? I don't know. I kind of like what I'm seeing and what I'm picturing is kind of like a reset button for society. With this, it's like we need to go back to this, and it's like hitting the reset button. Not getting anything else on that. Let me see what else is going to come up. Let's see what's coming up in the future here. I'm not hitting the mic. I have something hanging on my mic stand, and every single time I swing my hand out, I hit it. So sorry if it hurts your ears. So let's look into the future of this here. Let's look into the future of Project 2025. Let's see. Let's look into the future of Project 2025. Okay, what was that? Ace of Swords. Oh, and then what we have here, Priestess. Underlying energies, we have the Fool, and we have the Strength card in reverse. We also have the Queen of Wands. But we have the Emperor again. Notice two of the cards that were coming up for the Heritage Foundation is coming up in reverse this time. So intuitively, I'm getting a message about this is a test. It's kind of like we're testing the strength of what American society or politics is. What can it withstand? What can it hold up to? It's kind of like poking and prodding to see like where is weak at, where can we get in at. That's what I'm getting. Intuitively, that's the message that I'm getting. Like what I'm getting from these cards, in my opinion, allegedly, I don't think they really care if people know the playbook or not. I don't think they really care to try to keep a lot of this under wraps. I don't think they really care if Trump wins or not, to be honest. I think they are still going to steamroll, go full speed ahead with their objective, and they don't care. It's kind of like they're a drip of water. You know, water, after a while, water picks the option, the path of least resistance. So I don't mind if I have to wear away at you 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. I'm eventually going to find that weak point, or I'm going to start injecting people, policies, money, things, resources, whatever I need in order to push this through. And before you know it, when you look up, it's in place. I've already done what I needed to do, and it's going to be too late. So it's kind of, again, it's just poking and prodding to see kind of like, where can we get in there? Where can we test it? Oh, this is a bit stronger. We probably need to chop them off here. Or, oh, this is the Achilles heel when it comes to this agency. Oh, this is what we can do. That's what I'm getting intuitively as the message. But only time will tell, huh? So again, we going back to the cards that I have here on the table, coming away from the intuitive message that I got, we do have the Eight of Cups here, and usually the Eight of Cups is kind of like walking away from something, leaving something alone, something that no longer benefits you, leaving alone emotional baggage, leaving behind hardship. The Ace of Swords is a harsh new start, a harsh beginning. It also can deal with kind of like mental constraints, worry, anxiety, things like that. It could speak to all of those things, but it could also speak to kind of like, let's go back to the drawing board and try this again. And then we have the High Priestess here. And usually when I get the High Priestess, it's like the big intuition card. The High Priestess can also deal with kind of like, again, feminine energy and things like that. It doesn't bring about kind of like the, where it's like if it was the Empress, it would kind of give you kind of more of the motherly energy. It just kind of speaks to kind of like the feminine or intuition based things you know, things to see. So I think right now, again, this is feeling like for the future of Project 2025, going back to the intuitive message I was getting, it's kind of like, oh, they may fail this time around, but each time they fail, they learn from it and they execute it properly the next time around. So that's what I'm getting. Let's see what else is coming up here. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of release this playbook, policy, agenda, whatever you want to call it, to kind of test the waters of public sentiment. Like, how are they gonna respond to this? Let's see how many people we can get onto this bandwagon or not. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, we kind of found some of the people who agree and who would be willing to push this forward. So yeah, we'll start using them, utilizing their skills to kind of like get this through, because you know, no matter what, we're willing to play the long game. And that's something I will have to say when it comes to the Democratic Party, conservatives, right-wingers, whatever you want to call them. They definitely play for the long term. And it's not like they change the playbook, they just repurpose it. They're not changing the tactics, they're not changing anything, it's just repurposed, and then they give it back to you. Okay. All right. That was way too much, Spirit. I just need no more than 2 cards, please. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, well, that landed perfectly. The Stranger. The Stranger. Are they going to try to push this through? Okay, mark my words. All right. Mark my words here, okay? I would not be surprised if in the future they try to, if they haven't already, I feel like some women definitely do agree with this, because, you know, all women do not think alike, that we are not a monolith, but I would not be surprised they use some unassuming face. They use a ploy of identity politics, etc., to kind of push forth the agenda moving forward, since they'll fail this time. At least that's what I'm getting, or something isn't going to kind of work out quite the way that they want, and they're going to utilize a different spokesperson. That's the best word for it. They're going to utilize a different spokesperson moving forward, a less unassuming person to kind of edge things through, if they aren't already. So there may be something that kind of comes up and later becomes revealed, you know. Getting 2 cards here for, see, planning, misfortune. So again, going back to what I said earlier at the start of this reading, it feels like we're going to poke and prod. We're going to choose the route of least resistance, and we're going to learn from our mistakes. We're going to go back to the drawing board, and then we're going to come back and we're going to execute it. It'll blow up in our face, but then we're going to come back and we're going to try it again. I don't care if we have to put it in inch by inch. I don't care if it's like, you know, one day is the attack of education, the next thing is degrading people's trust in the FBI. Then it'll be, you know, destroying people's trust in the checks and balances of the government. It would be, you know, let's go in and destroys people's belief in, I don't know, the integrity of, what's something else that they had in here? The integrity of their doctors or something. So then we can edge in some kind of policy or something like that to kind of like do where it works in our favor. That's pretty much what I'm getting. And then let's see why this High Priestess is here. I'm just going to take note. We do have loss here. Another intuitive hit. There is, I think there is also, how can I say it? Even more chipping away or degradation of community. Yes, of community, I want to say. Intuitive message coming through. Do have relation, funny I said a degradation or a chipping away at community, belief in community, and then I get relationships and family. As if America isn't as torn as it is right now. You kind of see it widespread globally, but I feel like just because I live here in the US is so rampant. You see it all the time. People are ready to disagree with you over water is wet, okay? Is the sky blue? Why is the sky blue? What are some other like basic facts and principles? 1 + 1 is 2. If 1 + 1 is 2, how do it's just like that kind of thing. It's just, yeah. Oh, sad. That's it's funny. I was getting that message and then those cards came through. Okay, what are we noting here? Intellectual lucidity. Intellectual lucidity. Okay, what does the booklet say about that? That's funny. We have intellectual lucidity here. And I was just talking about chipping away people's beliefs or the integrity of certain cultural things that we kind of like share, even though America is a melting pot of multiple different cultures. It's still supposed to be like that underlying belief that all are supposed to be created equal and the same. You know, the great American dream, etc., etc. And notice on the other side of this, we get vice. So that's interesting. But let's see what's really supposed to come out here and stick. Unplug from the matrix, y'all. Jesus. Libertines and renegades. Okay, and then we have laziness and neglectfulness. I thought I had another card, so I was just checking to make sure because these can be a little thicker. And notice this is 10, 20. What is this? Okay, 59. Intellectual richness. Well, what's the underlying cards here? We got the disregarding of rules again. What does the other side say? It says undertaking and completing missions. Okay. my warning, my next intuitive message that is coming through, be careful and mindful of, if you are already, you're going to have to be very careful and mindful of news, things you hear, of propaganda, of talking points, things like that that people feed you if you haven't already. Because I definitely see this being a thing of like, yes, we may fail this time, or it doesn't go through exactly the way we want. Because what I'm getting for right now for Project 2025, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'll stand behind that. I want to believe in my fellow Americans that they won't allow something like this to happen. All of this, repealing of our standard human rights that we have here. However, I do think it's still going to be a challenge. It's still going to be something where we're going to have to be on the lookout that they are definitely going to try to alter and change public opinion. Because once you can do that, you can vote in certain people into places, or, policies and etc. To where at least the Heritage Foundation can get their way. So I think you need to be very careful of kind of like what messages that you're getting. And even if it is something that you believe in, kind of question why you think the powers at large, the powers that be, will want you kind of have you falling into this belief tunnel, this echo chamber that you're in or whatnot. Kind of second guess and question everything that you have. Interesting enough, my reading on Project Bluebeam, which I'll add later, I'll have all the eye cards up here. I think you should watch that, because this is kind of like, it's kind of giving me the feeling I got with Project Bluebeam when I was doing that reading, where I was saying it's kind of like a lab test, a research, some kind of study that's being conducted on the public at large. And you just need to be very mindful of kind of like what you are being indoctrinated in, how you have been indoctrinated, how you have been conditioned to think and believe as a human, or as a everyday person. Hi, Ebony. Yes, I don't know about population. Well, yeah, population control. I think it's more so just controlling us, but yeah. Yeah, I would just say I'll refer back to my Project Bluebeam video. It's in my conspiracies list as well, if you want to check that out. I have a couple of other interesting conspiracies in that one too. But that's what I'm getting for Project 2025. I think it's pretty interesting that this is coming up. I can't even say stay woke, because people have changed the meaning of that. So yeah, just try to be very tenacious and aware of messages that you're getting. Yeah, because it's not coming from people with the best of intentions, at least not for the general population at all. I would even say not even for the richer. I think a lot of people are probably going into this election, as with like past elections, and they're voting based on their pocketbook or their socioeconomic status, and they're forgetting at the end of the day, a lot of things based here in America is like on a caste system or, race. I know we try to get away from that, but I don't care how much money you make. People still see you for how you present yourself in the outside world. And just because you are richer than God does not alter or change how people still see you as a Mexican or a Hispanic person, or somebody who is Black, or some other person of color. I'm sure this message is probably for JD Vance's wife if you're watching this, because yes. I know that was a little shady, but that's what I got for the reading you all. Some of these things in 2025 are in play already. Yeah, I said that earlier in the reading too. I think a lot of this is probably already at play. I do think some of this is again, I don't think they really care that you know the playbook because they have already been working on it. Destroying the Department of Education or the integrity of education here have, I will say this as somebody, as a fellow Michigander, are we all going to forget Betsy DeVos, everyone? Hello? And look at where we are now. Are we going to forget all of this stuff they've been doing with kind of like tearing down the all of these book bans that they are doing? All of these people are getting pulled out of school to homeschool or unschool their kids now. And a lot of these homeschool agendas, if you didn't know, look it up. A lot of this has been funded by the Koch brothers, who I mentioned earlier in this reading. So again, it's, although we kind of like on the surface, yeah, we all support homeschool because the public education, especially if you are in the Black or brown community, is not ideal. However, look at who's pushing the agenda. You have to just kind of be mindful. Like I was stating earlier, a lot of this is, yes, is definitely already in play. I don't think they really care if you know the playbook because they're needling away at everything anyway. They have definitely degraded the trust we have in our politics and in I just think about like the FBI, CIA. Are we forgetting just last month the whole thing with the attempted assault against Trump? So can I say that word? The attempted thing that happened at the rally with Trump with the whole ear thing, so that's kind of eroded people's trust in the CIA. So yeah, I think a lot of this is in play, unfortunately. So the only way moving forward to kind of like course correct is, again, be mindful of the policies, who's pushing the policies. Don't get hung up on kind of like the packaging of the person, or basically just going back to that identity politics of it all, or the, what they call it, I'm blanking on it right now, identity politics and respectability politics of the thing. Don't get hung up on that. Just, I think, is really focusing on like, okay, who are you? Why are you pushing this agenda? And who funded you for this? And I think a lot of us, I will hope a lot of us have kind of like turned on our ears and become aware that, all that glitters isn't gold. But I could just be talking to a brick wall. So there's that. So I'm going to get off my soapbox before I get any further into this. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. If you are rewatching this, yeah, be careful, you guys. That's all I got to say. Because I don't think it really matters who wins in November, right? November is when we have our election. I should know that better by then. Whatever. I don't think it really matters who wins in November. Be mindful and aware of who's like pushing these agendas and policies to you, and don't just consider yourself, consider your fellow man as well. Yes, November 5th, if you are in the US of A, remember November 5th is not the, I don't want to downplay it. It is a very important election, but it's not as important as you making sure you vote locally, making sure that you actually have people in your local government and district that are going to fight on your behalf and represent you, and making sure that you and your fellow man are protected and still able to vote, still able to have your voices heard, still able to live, still able to eat, able to go see a doctor, able to send your kids to public school or a private school or whatever of your choice, making sure that you still have those choices. So that's my little spiel. And with that, I wish you all a great day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.